WNBA Commissioner
Cathy Engelbert
comes out and denies what we all see.
This is one of the worst takes ever heard from a commissioner of a league. So this is what she said.
that no winning team
ever complains about officiating.
No losing team ever complains about officiating.
You need to stop it, Cathy Engelbert. Enough is enough.
It's an absolutely embarrassing.
It is clear that they don't want the WNBA to succeed.
They stood by, unmoved, game after game, quarter after quarter, possession after possession. As she absorbed hit after hit, like it was part of the design, this wasn't a momentary oversight. A what-I miss or a bad night at the scorers table. It became routine, almost expected. She was bumped on drives, shoved off her spots, hacked on the arms, body-checked midair, slammed to the hardwood with the kind of force that makes you wince, even through a television screen. And yet, every time, she pulled herself up and looked around, waiting for the sound that never came. No whistle, no foul, no accountability, nothing. The silence surrounding her was louder than any buzzer. It wasn't just that the referees swallowed their whistles. It was that they swallowed their responsibility. It felt less like a series of missed calls and more like a decision, an unspoken agreement that she would be treated differently. The rules that protected everyone else seemed to evaporate when she had the ball in her hands. It was as if the league had carved out a separate set of standards for her, where physical punishment wasn't just tolerated, it was permitted. And what about the league? Crickets, no statements, no investigations, no public acknowledgements that their brightest young star was being physically dismantled in plain sight. Instead, it seemed like the damage was just brushed aside as part of the game, as if being constantly battered was simply the tax she had to pay for daring to draw attention. For daring to be great, the message, whether intentional or not, was crystal clear. There would be no protection, not from the officials standing 3 feet away, not from the league office watching from afar, not from anyone. She was on her own. And so it continued, hit after hit, fall after fall, bruise after bruise, while everyone else just stood there and watched, as if this was all perfectly fine, as if this was just the way it was supposed to be.
Why and what should have been done? I looked seriously at the leadership of the WNBA. It basically was ignored.
And when the outcry finally grew too loud to ignore, when fans packed arenas and flooded social media, when players from across the league voiced their frustration, when even opposing coaches shook their heads in disbelief and publicly called out the dangerous, unchecked physicality, the response from the top was not what anyone expected. The WNBA commissioner, the very person tasked with safeguarding the integrity of the league and protecting its most valuable assets, didn't step in to support the league's brightest star. She didn't demand accountability from the officiating crews who had allowed game after game to spiral into something closer to a wrestling match than professional basketball. Instead, she stood firmly behind the referees, defending their decisions, standing by a system that had so clearly and repeatedly failed. She didn't acknowledge the pattern, didn't express concern for the player at the center of it all, didn't even seem to grasp the long-term damage that was being done not just to the player, but to the credibility of the league itself. In that moment, it felt like a choice had been made, a choice to preserve the illusion of control rather than confront the glaring truth. The very people who should have been first in line to offer protection, to ensure fairness, instead chose silence and deflection. And so the cycle continued, as if the voices calling for change, fans, players, coaches, were just background noise, easily dismissed. The league's biggest star was left to fend for herself, taking hit after hit, while those in charge not only refused to intervene but actively defended the system that allowed it to happen.
WNBA referees simply playing against Caitlin Clark and a fever.
Caitlin Clark isn't just participating in the WNBA, she's redefining it. She's carrying the league on her shoulders, night in and night out, becoming the gravitational force pulling in sold-out crowds, record-breaking TV ratings, and unprecedented levels of media coverage. Her impact is seismic. Wherever she goes, the stands are packed, the cameras are rolling, and the storylines are centered around her. She's the engine driving the league forward, the spark igniting a new generation of fans, the name that's brought women's basketball into living rooms that had never tuned in before. But while she's elevating the WNBA to heights it has long aspired to reach, she's also becoming a target physically, mentally, and systematically, game after game. It's not just about basketball anymore. She's taking elbows, absorbing hard screens, being shoved to the floor, getting hacked across the arms and shoulders, often with little to no consequence for the defenders dishing out the punishment. It's a level of contact that seems to go beyond normal physical play. It feels personal, like opponents are trying to make a statement, trying to knock her off her game by knocking her down. And the most glaring issue isn't just the fouls, it's the The silence that follows them, the officials turn away, the whistles stay silent. And the league's leadership, the very people responsible for protecting its players and the integrity of the game, stand by and watch. There's been no meaningful intervention, no strong messaging from the commissioner's office condemning the escalating physicality, no visible effort to send the message that the WNBA's biggest draw deserves the same fairness, safety, and respect as everyone else on the court. Instead, it feels like those in charge are willing to reap the benefits of the Caitlin Clark phenomenon without stepping up to shield her from the toll it's taking. They'll gladly take the sellouts, the social media spikes, the new sponsorships, and the booming merchandise sales, but when it comes to addressing the relentless, targeted hits she's facing, their response has been indifference. At best, Caitlin Clark is carrying the weight of the WNBA's future, raising the league's visibility, expanding its reach, and shouldering the responsibility of being the face of a movement. But while she carries the league, who's carrying her? Who's stepping up to ensure that the very player transforming the game isn't being sacrificed in the process? Who's making sure she isn't left isolated, expected to endure every bruise, every cheap shot, every unfair blow in silence? Right now, the answer feels painfully clear: no one. She's standing alone, delivering for the league while the league stands back and simply lets her.
Who is this?
This is the moment.
Caitlin Clark is the star player of the WNBA.
Caitlin Clark and the revolution in women's sports.
The most popular woman ever in the WNBA, Caitlin Clark.
If you are truly and completely standing with Caitlin Clark, if you believe in what she represents, if you support not just her talent but everything she is doing for the game, then this is the moment to show it. This is the time to make it known. Drop 100% in the comments right now and let your voice be part of the wave. Because what is happening is not just another sports headline, it is a growing, undeniable problem that is spinning out of control right in front of our eyes. This is not some minor controversy that will blow over in a news cycle. This is not just about missed calls or bad officiating. This is about a player who has dedicated her life to this game, who has pushed the boundaries, who has put women's basketball on a new stage, who is packing arenas, lighting up social media, inspiring young athletes across the country, and delivering a level of excitement the league has desperately needed. And yet, despite everything she is doing, despite how much she is giving to the game, Caitlin Clark is being relentlessly targeted. Every night she steps onto the court, she is taking hard fouls, cheap shots, unnecessary hits that go far beyond the acceptable limits of competitive physical play. It has reached a point where it does not even feel like basketball anymore. It feels like she is being hunted, and as this happens over and over again, the silence from the people in power is deafening. The league officials who should be stepping in, who should be sending a message that this will not be tolerated, who should be protecting one of the most valuable players the WNBA has ever seen, they are nowhere to be found. There are no strong statements, there are no meaningful changes, there is no public support. There is just silence, or worse, flimsy defenses of a broken system that is failing her. This is no longer just about Caitlin Clark. This is about every player who has ever felt unsafe on the court. This is about every young girl who dreams of playing at the highest level and wonders if this is what awaits her. This is about fairness, about consistency, about holding the league to the standard it claims to represent. It is about whether the WNBA will protect the athletes who are building its future, or whether it will stand by and let them be broken down in plain sight. So if you are 100% with Caitlin Clark, if you are tired of watching this happen without consequences, if you are fed up with the league's silence, then do not sit quietly. Do not scroll past this. Do not think someone else will speak up. Drop that 100% in the comments and let it be a statement that enough is enough. Let it be a signal that you see what is happening, that you are not okay with it, and that you will not let this story be buried. Caitlin Clark is carrying the league on her back, but she should not have to carry this fight alone. Stand with her now, loudly, fully, 100%.